how everything can change in a matter of days. It was all good just a week ago. We beat up on the Chicago Sky a few days ago. 35-point victory. Caitlin Clark triple-double. Indiana Fever riding high. Indiana Fever fans riding high. Caitlin Clark supporters riding high. And then, of course, the dweebs do what the dweebs do. They make up nonsense. They make up lies. And the WNBA validate the lies. The WNBA validates the nonsense. The WNBA validates non-truths.
The Indiana Fever have had enough of being polite. They are now threatening to boycott the WNBA as a whole because of what they see as blatant lies. Not drama, not rumors. Lies. Here's the worst part, though. It's unclear exactly what those lies are. Suspicious, yes, without a doubt. The Fever are acting as like they know something the rest of the league really doesn't want to know, from explosive secrets to behind-the-scenes rivalry. I ask this the beginning of a scandal that might rock the WNBA as a whole, or is it just a power move? Keep an eye out. This one is going to blow up.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. This dump. This turd of turds known as the WNBA, this damn league can't get the hell out of their own way. They don't get it. They just don't get it. The diva of dump divas, Kat Engelbert, she does not understand how fragile this fan base is. And by fragile, I'm referring to their level of loyalty to pretend basketball, which in this case doesn't exist.
You're in for a reality check that's more messy than your most recent breakup text. So fasten your seatbelts if you thought the WNBA drama was all about basketball. This is the scorching mess both on and off the court. The Indiana Fever are essentially the league's cash cow, captained by none other than the brilliant, unbeatable Caitlin Clark. Every sports executive fantasizes about the golden ticket, the crowd pleaser, and the hype machine. The cost of tickets is skyrocketing. Check out the sellout games. Absolutely, new fans are tuning in. The WNBA sorely needs the heat, enthusiasm, and attention that the Fever are delivering.
You would think the number one thing you'd be talking about after that game, after that amazing performance from Caitlin Clark, the triple-double, the amazing passes, the crazy shots, you'd think we would be talking about basketball. The number one thing you think we'd be investigating is how nobody else in the WNBA has ever done anything like Caitlin Clark is doing. We should be investigating the fact that Caitlin Clark's 4 threes in that game were more exciting than, like, if you go to 2022 and check out the top 10 plays of the WNBA season, her 4 threes in that game were more exciting than those 10 plays. Literally. Like, what she does in one game is single-handedly more exciting than anything we've ever seen in the WNBA. That's what we...
Nevertheless, the league and its devoted supporters choose to portray the Fever as the evil guys. Why? Due to the apparent overzealous enthusiasm of the Fever supporters, because Caitlin Clark had the audacity to approach Angel Reese firmly.
What started all of this?
It's a flagrant. And then Chicago will maintain the basketball. Reese misses.
Okay, that was it. That noise you heard right there that sounds a little bit like a dolphin was actually a YouTuber called Flight Reacts. A laugh. All right, a laugh that it's my understanding actually gets played during NBA games too. That's what it's all about, because they tried to say that sounded like a monkey.
Ironically, the only people occupying seats are Fever supporters. They are essentially funding the league's salary by purchasing jerseys and selling out stadia. The rest of the WNBA, meanwhile, is sitting there like a disgruntled spectator, watching as one star and the team that backs her overshadow their own ratings.
National television. It's been the most polarizing conversation in all of sports over the last 24 hours rather. Angel Reese, many would suggest that she overreacted, but Slick, do you have an issue with Angel Reese's reaction to Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul?
Yes, and I have an issue with the way she reacted. I have an issue with the way it's being handled by her, by the Chicago Sky, everybody involved.
The murmurs, "We want Caitlin to succeed, but not like that," are almost audible, not as long as there are Fever fans. Translation: we want the league to expand, but only if it conforms to the victimization and created drama narrative. It seems as though the WNBA has determined that setting the house on fire is the best way to deal with its growing popularity. Let's start with the staff responsible for keeping the lights on. Here's the worst part.
I'm just really thankful. They continued to show up for us, and they make a lot of noise. Like, they're into it. They're not just sitting there. Like, they're invested in this basketball. It's great for our league. It's great for every team that gets to come and play here. I think we've had a lot of great battles, and they've helped us win a lot of games on this floor. So, like I said, hopefully we can bring the playoffs back here and give them a taste of it, because they deserve it. It's been since 2016. So, it's only going to get better and better from here on out.
The same supporters who turned out in large numbers to cheer on their side are the ones who have been accused of racism. What is actually happening then? Is this about race? Or is it about control, jealousy, and a healthy dose of resentment against Caitlyn's rapidly rising stardom? Do you want drama? The league's most divisive person since sliced bread is Caitlyn Clark. Whether you like her or not, Angel Reese is the league's favorite enemy, and the supporters of Fever. They seem to be the scapegoats for every bit of conflict that arises. Here's the reality, though. The WNBA might still be attempting to fill half-empty gymnasiums with free ticket signs in the absence of Caitlyn and the Fever. Uneasy quiet. Now that it's thriving, those who ought to be celebrating are attempting to call off the festivities. Thus, the Fever continues to score on the court and in the hearts of supporters as the league wavers. Because in the end, the real game cannot be stopped by any amount of trivial drama. Basketball that sells jerseys, packs arenas, and makes it tough to ignore allow the Fever to run wild. Give Caitlyn a chance to shine, and perhaps, just possibly, the WNBA will discover that although progress can be messy at times, it is always worthwhile.
Not a flagrant foul on Caitlyn Clark. Listen, I was at the game. If there was somebody being racist or saying shit, obviously boot him, never let him back. I would be stunned beyond belief if that was the case. This crowd, I've sat on the wood for a million games, been in a million environments. The crowd at the Fever game, little girls, families, ladies, nice crowd. You even though it's 100% false, by acknowledging we don't condone hate and not seeing that this was a internet rumor, complete bullshit, you're lending credence to this. There was none of that. It was a great crowd, a positive crowd. Yeah, Angel Reese deserved to get her ass booed when she attacked Caitlyn on a normal foul.
Now let's take a closer look at this WNBA soap opera, which has more twists than a pretzel factory. After years of flickering weekly like a poor phone signal, the Indiana Fever are the team that has essentially turned the league's lights back on. They have Caitlyn Clark, the rookie star who is not only shattering records, but also exceeding everyone's expectations. Games are drawing large crowds of spectators. The arenas are full. The cost of tickets is skyrocketing like rocket fuel, and merchandise sales have skyrocketed. In essence, it's a sports marketer's paradise. Here's the worst part, though. Rather than saying as a group, hell yeah, let's ride this wave, we received the exact opposite from both fans and the league. Suddenly, the antagonists in this tale are the Fever and their supporters, accused of being very boisterous, arrogant, and excessive in some way. The kind of excess that seems to undermine the meticulously constructed story that the rest of the WNBA seeks to promote. With basketball jerseys and some extremely dubious decisions about who should be on the floor, it's like the league's own version of You Can't Sit With Us.
They wanted to hone their defensive skills last season. In the offseason, Stephanie White made it a point to drill that idea home. I mean, Caitlyn Clark talked about upping her defense, and in the offseason, they picked up a lot of key defenders. They picked up Natasha Howard, who is the 2019 Defensive Player of the Year, and last season, the Connecticut Sun came in first in their defensive rating. So what did the Fever do? They took Stephanie White, they took Keith Porter, they brought in Tawana Bonner, and they said, we're doing this.
What is the actual problem then? After the infamous tackle, which sent the internet into a frenzy and the WNBA into what appeared to be a PR collapse, everything came to a head. In a situation that was essentially basketball 101, Angel Reese, the league's current drama queen and the epitome of attitude, became entangled with Caitlyn Clark. A little roughhousing, hustle, and contact. However, for some reason, this routine in-game altercation turned into a full-fledged witch hunt against the Fever. All of a sudden, it wasn't about who played more skillfully or harder. It concerned racism, unsportsmanlike behavior, and the question of whether the Fever should be permitted to play at all. Let's put on our detective hats for a moment now. Though when Angel Reese shoves a Fever player, the whole thing begins. A cheap shot, if you will, a clear maneuver. Angel is unharmed. No headlines criticizing her for dirty play, no suspension. But then Caitlin reacts with a strong legal tackle straight out of a textbook. Fans of the Fever are accused of racism. The media jumps into the frenzy like it's the season finale of a reality TV show when the league stirred up controversy around fan behavior. You begin to question whether someone unintentionally switched the sports station to a talk program throughout the day.
Today, the WNBA is investigating alleged racial comments that were directed at WNBA player Angel Reese by fans yesterday at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Actually, that game was on Sunday. The Players Union says it supports, on Saturday rather. The Players Union says it supports the investigation and condemns all forms of hate and discrimination.
This is where the plot becomes more complex, though. The Fever are more than just the newcomers. They are the reason venues are thriving once more, not so much the rest of the league. You have to wonder why there is such a sudden emphasis on issues with Fever fans, because they're the ones who show up. It's similar to attributing the enjoyment of a party to the loudest and most enthusiastic bunch. Other clubs and fan bases, meanwhile, watch in silence while their seats remain vacant and their merchandise collects dust. Don't overlook Caitlin Clark's influence on the sport itself. She does more than simply play hoops. She is redefining the story. In a league where veterans were expected to take center stage, this rookie is snatching the mic, changing the script, and making sure everyone knows she's here to stay. She's breaking viewership records, selling out venues, and generating an unavoidable buzz. However, she and the Fever encounter opposition rather than celebration. Jealousy, territorialism, and, to be honest, some resentment are the main causes of resistance. The rest of the league seems to have forgotten that competition is meant to propel sports ahead rather than hold it captive with trivial grievances and overblown drama.
People just aren't used to the heated intensity of a great rivalry. But in the NBA, we had MJ and the Pistons, we had Bird and Magic. We're kind of used to it. As Caitlin Clark in Indiana hammered the Chicago Sky, it was like 4.5 minutes left in the third, there was a foul. It should not have been upgraded to a flagrant foul. It was a foul. And I really think if you truly respect women's basketball, let them play. Sort of like guys. Rivalries equal ratings. Sports is better with intensity. Animosity is part of it. This is okay. Who cares if Angel Reese does it like Caitlin Clark? It's not soccer.
The media circus comes next. The story changes from game on to who'll initiate the next rivalry each time the Fever strikes the court. It seems like the league is now more about who can throw the biggest shade while keeping a flawlessly manicured Instagram page than it is about basketball. Caitlin Clark and the Fever are cast as the adversaries, while Angel Reese, with her dramatic flair, receives royal treatment as the league's IEG girl, a narrative that is almost laughable in its predictability. Additionally, the actual fans who are spending their hard-earned money to purchase jerseys, fill seats, and raise the league's brand are caught in the crossfire. Supporting the Fever out of the blue indicates that you are the issue, whereas supporting other clubs indicates that you are just a fan. Here, there is an obvious double standard. It's similar to being taught that you can only support your favorite in a modest, kind manner without really winning. This leads us to the worst part: the league's seeming intention to undermine its own achievements. The WNBA can expand, draw in new fans, and compete with any sport for respect and attention, as demonstrated by the Fever and Caitlin Clark. However, some appear committed to maintaining the status quo, clinging to antiquated myths and internal politics that are more detrimental than beneficial, rather than welcoming that success.
Had Angel or anyone else done the exact same type of a foul to Caitlin, the storyline is different. I don't have an issue with the foul. I thought it was a hard foul. I was always taught you don't give up an easy basket, and that's what I thought Caitlin did. My thing with that was stand in it.
Stand on business.
Yeah.
I got no issue with none of it. It's just basketball soft as hell right now on both sides of it. There ain't no damn flagrant foul, man.
Hear your perspective on the flagrant foul. What was the point you were trying to make to her?
Foul, you know, either wide open 2 points or, you know, we send him to the free throw line. Nothing malicious about it. It was a good take foul. I think that's all player knows.
Examine the wider picture. The league really needs the new perspectives, vitality, and sound that the Fever are delivering. Sales of tickets are surging. Products are flying off the shelves. The buzz on social media is enormous. Additionally, the media narrative is fixated on conflict, controversy, and its origin. Because a story about progress and excitement doesn't seem to be nearly as clickable as one about turmoil and division. It's also important to note how all of this contributes to broader discussions about fandom, sports culture, and the fight for legitimacy. In the competitive sports world, the WNBA is vying for a spot, and athletes like Caitlin Clark are the exact reason it's becoming popular. They are targeted by jealously and antiquated gatekeeping rather than being praised as trailblazers. In the meantime, despite dubious behavior and in court eerie's that wouldn't be acceptable in most other leagues, Angel Reese and her army of fans are being shielded as though they hold the keys to the kingdom. Unquestionably, there is a double standard, and if you don't match the desired story, talent and hard effort may not be sufficient.
Of this audience, they have no loyalty to the WNBA. Their loyalty lies with Caitlin Clark, and that loyalty, it is not guaranteed to extend to the rest of this putrid league. No one is loyal to the dump. No one cares about the WNBA.
Fever supporters who have been steadfast in their support are being demonized for their fervor. The good effects of the Fever are frequently overlooked in favor of fabricated controversies in the media portrayal. Shooting the messenger, or in this case, the messengers themselves, is a classic situation. Not to mention, this is no longer simply about basketball. It has to do with loyalty, identity, and the balance of power in the sport. It concerns who gets to represent the league and who is sent to the sidelines. Caitlin Clark and the Fever stand for advancement and change. Tradition and authority are symbolized by Angel Reese and her camp. Additionally, as the drama progresses, viewers are left wondering who will win, the new wave or the old guard, the supporters, the actual losers, and the sport itself. Because all of this drama and infighting takes attention away from what ought to be the main emphasis. Amazing basketball, up-and-coming talent, and a league poised for greatness. Ultimately, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are more than just a player and a team. They are a movement that has the potential to start a revolution in women's sports. And that light cannot be dimmed by internal politics, media manipulation, or small-time fighting.
Yeah, you can just feel the energy from the crowd, like they're also just itching for it, and that's not why you play, but I feel like that's the part of the game I take a lot of pride in. I want to be able to do a lot of different things for this team, and honestly, when I think I get the ball off of a missed shot, off the rebound, I think it's other teams have a really hard time stopping us in transition, and I can just pitch it up to my teammates to fun.
Let the Fever run wild. Give Caitlin the upper hand. The WNBA's future rests on embracing that enthusiasm rather than attempting to stifle it. So, let the fans cheer loudly and proudly. The league must choose whether to support the status quo or success if it hopes to expand. On the court and in the stands, the Fever and their supporters are currently doing all the hard work. Will the WNBA be astute enough to see it before it's too late? Time will tell, though. However, while some attempt to reduce, they are merely feeding the flame of the Fever. Keep an eye out because Indiana and Caitlin Clark are changing the rules of the game. And believe me when I say that this heat won't let off anytime soon. The WNBA has suddenly become much more fascinating, so pay attention.